In the 1950s, 4 friends finished at university and they were moving to London to live and work. And they wanted to carry on meeting together, to pray, to study the Bible, and to prioritise time away together and with God. And this was the birth of the Stewards Trust. And so from the very beginning, relationship and friendship were right at the core of what we do.
We went on weekend training courses at Ashburnham Place, run by one of the founders of the Stewards Trust, John Bickersteth, and it was fairly derelict. And my wife has vivid memories of sleeping on mattresses in what is now the kitchen, with rats running over her feet.
I was a relatively new Christian when I went to my first Stewards Trust event, and I was suddenly thrust into this environment with loads of people that I'd never met, and I just found an amazing welcome, very loving, caring people who actually were interested in me and my story and helping me grow in my relationship with Jesus.
When I see the word Stewards Trust randomly in different places, first thing I do is start laughing with a loving feeling in my chest. And a flood of memories comes through of people and humour and depth, but also love.
I remember 2 years ago, one of my daughters, who's at Leeds University, had done a Stewards Trust Northern Unis weekend. I said, "Hey, sweetheart, how'd it go?" And she said, "Dad, I don't know how to describe it. It was like coming home."
We organise events that take people away from their everyday life. It's creating the space and the time to put everything else aside and to focus in on what's important, our relationship with God and a relationship with other people.
The relationships that you make on that 1 week are some of the deepest relationships you may ever make.
There was a degree of vulnerability that grew as well, where people said, I don't think I can cope with X, Y, Z, and it became family. It was the first really proper Christian family I had.
If I was to say one word in terms of what we do, it would be discipleship. We are focused on events, Christian teaching events for all ages, which are great fun. We also have a focus on youth work, so working with young people at school and universities.
Being a Christian at school, I think it's difficult for anyone. And I think the biggest impact was having some of the leaders come to my school. And it was enough to keep me afloat.
It's amazing to be able to have free rein to go into a school, and we go into classes and sit there as like a real life Christian, and the pupils ask us any questions.
In the UK today, 75% of churches don't have a youth group. Stewards Trust is doing amazing work with young people, so we're stepping into that gap. The Stewards Trust only exists because of volunteers. We've got this amazing army of volunteers who are so committed.
We are so blessed to have so much capability embedded within the Stewards Trust family. We just need to unleash that.
One of the things that I think will make a massive difference to the Stewards Trust is if we could connect the dots better. And what I mean by that is connecting the people within the Stewards Trust to a core unifying vision for our work, and then also providing for better connection within the Stewards Trust family. There are 3 distinct groups within the Stewards Trust. There's family, all age, adults, and youth. And if we could increase the connection within those 3 areas, it would be amazing.
Could there be anything greater than just saying, look, the lives that we're touching, the people that we're reaching, and then that multiplies out in terms of God's multiplication. You say, holy smokes, it's probably bigger than we can even imagine.
We seem to be right on the cusp of a quite exciting future, and if we can all gather around this, if we can just commit a little bit more to the different areas we're involved in, if we can draw more people in, then, as I say, we can start to unlock that talent.
The family of God is growing, and He's using the Stewards Trust to do that.
The Stewards Trust, to me, had more of an influence on me spiritually, and Bear, I'm sure, and, Toby, all that lot, than probably anything else.
The other thing I love is just seeing the number of people who've come through Stewards Trust house parties who are now involved in all areas of life, but their faith is not just surviving, but having a huge impact on the way they live their lives, in their work, their career, their family.
The Stewards Trust planted in me a real passion for evangelism and all things kingdom. And for me, that's manifested today in living out the gospel in Malmberg, Cape Town. The Stewards Trust has just provided this amazing network of godly, supportive, passionate, encouraging people.
I learnt about the Holy Spirit and learnt that, there's a twinkle in the eye of God that wants to love creatively, that isn't dull. All these things I learnt there.
The lives that have been changed through the Stewards Trust over the years, the impact that it's had over the years, and it's been running for over 60 years. It's a fantastic organisation. It's made such a difference in so many spheres of life. This discipleship is really important. Disciples helping to make disciples who then go and make a difference in their sphere of influence. That really matters.
Get involved because it deepens everything.